Hi, welcome. My name is Guy Bartram, Director of Product Marketing at VMware for our cloud provider partners. And today's partner showcase, I'm delighted to be joined by Bryan Litchford from Rackspace. So Bryan, welcome. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and Rackspace?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me here. I'm Bryan Litchford. I'm the Vice President and General Manager of our private cloud business for Rackspace Technology. I've been with Rackspace for a little over 8 years and worked in roles that span both operations and product, and really excited to be focused on our private cloud offering, which VMware really is a massive part of.
And today we're going to be talking about specifically migration and how customers or Rackspace helps customers manage, assess, and migrate into your cloud environments. So let's start with what are some of the main challenges then that your customers are facing, specifically those customers really are, I guess, our kind of typical customer base is more mid-market. But what specifically do you see with customers trying to migrate to cloud to Rackspace and some of the challenges?
I think there's a number of challenges customers are faced with today. In our ever-expanding market, we see customers embracing both hyperscalers as well as on-prem and even hosted solutions with partners. Rackspace Technology is uniquely positioned to help these customers on their cloud journey, whether they're just starting out or they already have footprints across multiple environments. We see multi-cloud integration and management as one of the biggest challenges customers have today. Understanding what works best in a public cloud versus a private cloud, how to actually make hybrid clouds work for your business and not be a burden onto your IT staff and the business that you support. There's no doubt at all that not all applications run best in a public cloud. And so understanding and having that point of view that a hybrid cloud is a manageable strategy and folks like Rackspace can come in and help, I think gets customers a big step forward.
You've got like obviously the customers' applications being core to their business and in most cases main revenue generation for their business. So ultra important to your customers to look after these applications and make the right decisions about where they go. Not only from a functionality perspective, but also, some of the gotchas like egress charges, for example. When we start talking about hybrid cloud and distributed applications and running the workloads in the most optimum place, that may mean that there's distributed components to that workload, which again, there's a lot of key non-functional things that commercial aspects as well. And does Rackspace help advise on that as well?
Absolutely. Cost optimization is a big piece for us. And when we're thinking about cost optimization, price is obviously the leading component there, but it's also optimizing the workloads to get the most out of your workloads, whether it's in a public or private cloud environment, and get that return on investment that you're making for your IT infrastructure. We have solutions, and we have built a really strong offering for customers that want to use the best of public clouds, but also have private cloud footprints. We have a solution called Rack Connect Global, which provides private connectivity between hyperscalers and our data centers. And that reduces egress fees dramatically for customers, giving some of that flexibility back, whether they want to run a VMware environment in our data centers or something like VMC on AWS.
Definitely a lot of unique value propositions I can see Rackspace has been building in the background, and one of them actually that egress charge is something that I think is a lot of IT managers and directors have been stung by making a cloud decision and then unfortunately seeing the costs spiral out of control. So having these type of capabilities inherent in your platform and in your skills and in your services is very reassuring to hear. Customers have challenges assessing, understanding, securing all of their environments as they move to cloud. So can you take me through the life cycle? What is the kind of the typical activities and services that Rackspace may deploy to help a customer end to end from that migration perspective?
Sure. At the start of COVID, right? Every company probably had to dust off a playbook on how to approach working in a new normal, work from home environment, and our customers were no different. I'm really excited to share a case from customer case from the UK, a large private cloud on-prem customer today really quickly needed to scale up their IT systems to take advantage of Horizon on VMware. So they had a VDI solution as they sent all of their employees home. So in the public sector, security is obviously of the utmost importance. And this entity relied on Rackspace technology to not only build, architect, and design a VMC environment that would support and manage and be managed for their customers working from home, but also help them migrate some critical applications over so they could scale up dramatically as all of their employees were working remotely, right? And not being able to take advantage of that, data center right in their office, basically, that they had before. So we took some time to look at the applications, but we had to move quickly. So we built a migration factory really with our consultants and looked at applications quickly, helped them do any redesigns, and then get them into that VMC environment where they could scale dramatically if needed, and then cut back, on the weekends or when they didn't have as many users. Ultimately, really successful migration. And for this particular customer, I think it strengthens the partnership between them and Rackspace, and highlights the advantages of a hybrid cloud model. They have for their offices and laboratories dedicated on-premise compute. They have some private cloud hosted with Rackspace, and they have a VMC on AWS environment. And they're able to manage and maintain and get support for that all from Rackspace technology, and really a single pane of glass.
I guess this is a kind of another area where Rackspace excels in, which is the support packaging, right? I mean, the capability for a customer who may not be familiar with VMware Cloud and AWS, or a host environment that you might be providing them, may not be familiar with the tools and not want to manage it themselves. They can come to Rackspace and really remove a lot of that application terminology from their language. They can actually just say, from a business perspective, I need this, and you can then work out what best fits that requirement.
Exactly. We've just worked with a large, really industry-leading professional services and consulting company to migrate out of their data centers and into ours. They value the security and cost controls of a private cloud environment, and so we helped migrate them out of their data centers into what we call Rackspace Private Cloud VMware. This is a single tenant, dedicated and fully managed solution that gives direct vSphere access to customers. So for a more sophisticated customer that does want to be able to make some changes as needed, they have that access. They're not locked out of it, but at the same time, Rackspace is there to provide some support. With this customer in particular, they were focused on migrating away from legacy firewalls and load balancers and a massive network hardware stack, and move to the newest versions of NSX. We used VCF and paired with the VxRail platform from Dell to stand up a new environment for the customer to take advantage of NSXT and help them translate all of their networking rules and protocols from legacy Cisco and Palo Alto equipment over to NSX native networking solutions. So really excited to be able to move that customer in. And while that customer is leaning on Rackspace and continuing to leverage our elastic engineering service, where dedicated architects and engineers are paired up with that customer, have strong affinity, and can help guide the customer on the use of these technologies, or outright manage them if they need to, throughout their life cycle.
one of the key things that you hit on there is that when you start talking about migration to cloud, a lot of people probably get very nervous at that point and start cold sweating because they're thinking about their estate and the complexity in their estate and how do they start this process off. And equally, professional services can be expensive. In the mid-tier, we're trying to avoid as much expense as possible and do it as efficiently as possible. How does Rackspace make it easier for a customer to consume these offerings?
Yeah, we have a couple of upfront offerings for customers looking to start down a multi-cloud journey, right, or migration to a cloud. Whether it's out of an existing hosted environment with another partner or something they have on premise. Customers have a lot of options when they come to Rackspace and they're at the start of their cloud journey. Our solution architects and engineers are more than happy to perform a well-architected review, take a look at the estate, and make some broader recommendations on technologies that might work best. We also have offers for fixed fee projects for customers to leverage our deep VMware expertise and consultants to go deeper into their technology stack with tools provided by VMware that we can parse out the environments and give a much more clear recommendation and help price and build a migration strategy for these customers to help them along on their journey. And then if you want, Rackspace can go all the way and build and manage and architect these new environments as well as move and migrate the data.
Good to know. So, and I think possibly one of the last questions for me would be, when I'm looking at migrating to cloud as a customer today, I'm presented with a plethora of cloud targets and endpoints and technologies. I can come to Rackspace to alleviate a lot of that pressure. I can also get, like you said, the assessments done, my roadmap of migration to cloud, laid out, and my investment profile over that roadmap as well. But what would be, one of the key considerations for, I'm on vSphere today, I'm looking for the easiest path to cloud. Why should I go in your your own words to a Rackspace VMware Cloud, whether that's VMware Cloud and AWS or hosted Rackspace? What is the unique value proposition that Rackspace is bringing to the table here?
I believe that Rackspace is the best place to run VMware. As a services provider, we are cloud agnostic. So when we're looking at your technology stack, we're not focused on driving something to a particular product, be it an AWS cloud environment or a dedicated cloud environment. We're really focused on finding the very best fit possible. And then with our years of experience, more than 15 years, we have become one of the leading managed services providers partnered with VMware. And we can help customers not only find that right fit, but then manage across multiple environments with that single pane of glass. The experience that we have both in hyperscalers and growing up as a private cloud and managed hosting companies in our early days give us a unique advantage and tons of experience so that customers can have a seamless experience across those different clouds. We really work hard to make hybrid cloud, multi-cloud a reality for our customers so that they can take advantage of the benefits that we see from various providers. And
are there any VMware offerings coming up in sort of the near future that the audience maybe should know about, specifically around helping them in this migration use case?
We have a great roadmap for 2022 and have recently launched a couple of new products that I think are really interesting and tied directly to VMware. First, we have Elastic Engineering, a consumption-based model that lets customers tap into a dedicated team of architects and engineers on a monthly basis to tackle DevOps type workloads, to help optimize an environment, or to help with migration activities on a short-term basis. We also have recently launched Rackspace Services for VMware Cloud, which is our newest private cloud offering in the Rackspace stack, giving customers direct vCloud director access to manage and maintain their environments, to build and provision new equipment, both virtual machines and dedicated servers for their accounts, as well as taking advantage of things like NSX and Tanzu for any containers workloads that you'd like to host with us. So we're really excited and really optimistic about the value that we can bring to customers, and as well as our ability to support and manage across any number of clouds today.
That's very exciting. And so if I hear that correctly, I hear a consumption-based kind of engineering on demand type support that a customer can get, which is fantastic, because then I'm not having to sign up to long contracts that I maybe won't consume in that time frame. And also a new endpoint for us to kind of look at migrating customers to, which is a cloud director cloud, which is can be multi-tenanted for a single customer, can be multiple lines of business, with all of the containers, VMs, backup, etc., that you would require from a public cloud service.
That's exactly right. We're looking to bring the flexibility that I think hyperscalers have brought to the market, but then offer them across our entire portfolio, including that deep expertise of architecture and engineering support.
Well, Bryan, I've been always very impressed with how Rackspace has approached the partnership with VMware, consistently engineering and innovating within VMware solutions. And these two solutions that you're coming to market in 2022 sound like some really good innovation that customers are going to enjoy. So lastly, Bryan, how should customers best find out more about these solutions and migration options with Rackspace? How can they get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, customers can call, email, or even live chat with us. Simply go to rackspace.com/contact, and you'll have different numbers for each region and a chat box available to you. If you're interested, though, in our free VMware optimization, discovery, and consultation, you can even reach out to us. There's a specific link that we'll send to you. We can add that to the video below.
Bryan, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Guy, thank you so much. Appreciate the time.